Um, okay, let me let me spin the wheel again. Where is it? There we go. There's a big wheel. We have Symphony of War. And then we spin. And we spin again. Turns out. More spins. All the spins. And ooh, so close to Baldur's Gate. Yes, Baldur's Gate is still on the wheel. I'm not gonna stop playing it. that, that was not yeah. Not playing is was not on my mind ever. Um Crazy. Well, it was really just one thing that did it. So it's not like it's bound to happen again or something. I'm assuming that it's just a one-time thing. That my body just reacts like that. Because usually bodies are not supposed to just fall unconscious. Because it's not the level of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, no, it was definitely like in terms of actual visuals, it really wasn't even that bad. Like it was off-putting, but it wasn't like super gross or anything. Somehow the just description, I guess, got me just because they describe it in a lot of detail, even if the visuals are not that detailed. And I guess my brain just did the rest. Okay, I guess we just go in Roadwarden until we die, because I'm probably going to die. We'll see. We'll see. Our vitality is pretty low. I'm barely standing. Our armor is worn out. We are covered in sweat and dirt. But at least we're nourished, so that's something. The air is fresh, just as it was in the tavern. The light touches the road and shrubs, blocked only by the single willow, wild and untrimmed. You're by a lake, too large for you to see its other bank, but the local soil isn't too fertile. There are only a few trees on the horizon, while the struggling bushes and grasses fight with layers of rocks. In the south, you see uninviting hills cut with tiresome roads. That's what you wanted to tell me, the thoughts that they're saying, which would make sense for the delay. Yeah, that just brain does stupid things. Basically, brain hurt itself in confusion is what I what I think happened. You know, you're just reading or listening to something, and then the brain is like, "What if we just shut down, shut everything down? This sounds awful. Let's shut everything down." Just shut it down. A grey rabbit is cleaning its fur near the brook. A rabbit, nice. But the sound of hooves makes it hop towards the nearest shrub. Right after it sinks into the leaves, you hear it squeal, cut off quickly. No! No, rabbit, why? Whatever its hunter was, it leaves behind only the rustling of the thicket and a trail of blood. You wait for a long minute with the hand on your axe, but the creature doesn't return. You relax a bit, then turn towards the stone statue of a young woman. Try a bit closer. Such a monument would be a better fit for a temple, or a rich city folk's house. Here, without any cover, it's already losing its shape from the rains and dust. Chunks of the face and hair have already broken off. It has detailed eyes and human-like proportions, and the clothes are like fabric, petrified by a spell. The statue carries the usual traveling equipment, a walking staff, a gambeson, simple pants, now covered by leaves. It's a shame to see it deteriorating. You observe its delicate face and the broken fingers, the last bits of which still hold the staff. You wonder why someone would place such a thing here. I don't know. Maybe a statue of a long-gone hero? Welcomes travelers heading to the sea. Maybe it marks a place of great importance. Well, okay. Could get rid of the branches, clear the space in front of the statue. Consider washing myself in the stream, actually, because I'm filthy. The brook would hardly cover your feet, but you could sit on the pebbles and splash yourself with water. The oak ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. Oh. 2 out of 5. Nice. We're no longer super dirty. There we go. Thank you for the hydrate, Zelda. Let's clear this space. What for? I don't know. There may be something valuable. You dismount and approach the bushes, covering the legs and the pedestal. You see some old wooden bowls as well as rocks. You try to push the leaves away, but their stems are thick and healthy, crowded with insects and spider webs. Until you remove the thicket, you won't be able to see if there's anything worth stealing. Thankfully, there are no thorns, and the touch of a leaf doesn't make your finger itchy. It's not stealing. If you say so. Game, don't... don't patronize me, game. How dare you? I could cut down the bushes in half an hour. You tether Age to the tree, letting it choose between drinking, grazing, and napping. You prepare your equipment, keeping an eye on the bush where you saw the rabbit's last moments. You use your weight to move the plants to one side, then cut right above the ground. The stems are healthy and flexible, so getting through them is rough, but you have enough strength to deal with them in a couple of minutes. Then throw them into the lake. The work goes on for a bit, but once you're done, the statue stands in its former glory. A couple of old offerings are still on the pedestal, polished rocks, bone figurines, and moldy bowls and plates that used to store food. In one vessel you see a dragon bone. It's dark and could be older than a generation, but it would surely be accepted by any merchant. I mean, I do want to be rich, but taking from some pedestal for like a single coin... Like, I don't have any money, so I kind of need it. Should I take it? It's only one. So a dragon bone is a currency in this game, by the way. It's the money of this world, I guess. I'm taking it. That's fine, you know. Wait. Oh, it's nighttime. Okay, that's why. I have to sleep. Well, I can now pay rent. Yay. So we can be more healthy. I used the 1 coin I got from the statue. Oh yeah. As you prepare your belongings, you realize that the days are getting noticeably shorter. The closer you get to autumn, the less time you'll have before the beasts of the night leave their lairs. Yeah, the music is very chill. It's nice. It's a calm, warm night. As your first sleep ends, you stretch out and prepare yourself for an active hour or two. It's time to take care of some things that must be done at least once every few days, though they are a bit more challenging than your nightly routine. Check on my herbs and other ingredients, get rid of the plants that have failed to dry out and throw away anything that's rotten. And wash my jars before I fill them up again. Nice. Listening to the grunts of the annoyed age makes you feel uneasy. Why are you annoyed, age? You get to sleep inside. Like to eat. Food. Tight space. Fair. Fair. Okay. Okay, we're doing pretty good now. Which way do I go? We can go northwest from here to the east or southeast. Safe water source and a fishing spot. Nice. I think I just keep going south. The valley is flanked by the hills. To the west, the grasses and bushes blend into the horizon and turn into another part of the forest. The southern hills are grey and tall, with fortress-like rock faces and crowns of conifers. The northern ones have countless sand-colored rocks, lumped together like piles of rubble and clay, bearing hardly any soil or weeds. The plants here are struggling. The grass is short and yellowish, sometimes dried out. The bushes have silver leaves, like many plants from sunny areas. The mushrooms can't hide in the shadows, but as you approach one, you see it's growing from the remains of a dead bird, while others are covering old branches and other plants. They won't last much longer. It will be easy to spot any larger beasts around. You have to squint to spot the first threatening creature. A runner is in the far east, close to the hills, though it completely ignores you, walking around and observing the grass, looking for its next prey. You don't have to worry about it for now. There are boot prints on the road as well as in the short grass, fresher than even on the western roads. Since many mushrooms were cut away with a knife and you notice a few berries on the shrubs, you conclude it's a foraging spot for the people from the north, though there doesn't seem to be much food left. There are almost no prints leading farther south. Okay, could try to forage. Pick 2 bunches of wild plants. Nice. You let age keep itself busy while you walk around looking for anything edible. Finally find a few handfuls of plants, fruits and nuts. Not going to be so easy, especially since the runner, a bird both taller and wider than you, observes you carefully. At first from a distance, then circling around you. After about half an hour, you hear its piercing screech. As the creature runs at you, shaking a beak larger than your head, you throw everything into a sack and get in the saddle. Yeah, okay, probably just get out of there. Not very filling. Well, it's still something to eat. Let's go further south. The only tracks inside belong to small critters. The cabin has no window, but a stubborn beast could easily burst in through the old thatch. The gust of wind doesn't move the door. A curious ibex observes you from the crag, but flees from your gaze. You tether a geostrophy to the supporting beam. Its curious eyes are tracking the crickets that jump among the grass blades. You stretch your limbs, adjust your armor, and reach for your axe. Okay, so there's this cabin. Eavesdrop first or just burst in? Let's just listen if there's anyone there. Uh-oh. You sneak towards the door and crouch down. After maybe a minute, a quiet rattle comes from the inside. Something similar to the sound of cracking knuckles. You peek inside and just barely see a small part of the dusty room. A large spider web is spread among the knockdown furniture. Grab my axe and get inside. Spider. A spider looks at you from the center of the web. Its shell is larger than your head, and the thin legs are longer than your arms. Its countless hair blends in with the walls. They're brown, grey, and grey cream. What do you think? What do you do? Let me think. Yeah. Burn web. Okay, wait. Burn. No. Set fire. Burn it all, please. Oh. Kick spider. Okay, it doesn't work either. Can I... Do I don't know if I have a torch, to be honest. I have a lantern. Lantern. No? Axe. You rush forward and the spider skitters off, shaking the entire web. You fail to avoid its spit. The sticky ooze hits your eyes, covering them in like a glued cloth. Wind! Welcome! Welcome everyone. Hi Flyado as well. Let me give you a shout out. How was your stream? Oh, you were playing Valorant. Nice. I will have a great stream. Thank you, Flyado. How was yours, Wind? It's good. Getting some early morning matches in. Nice, nice. We are fighting a spider currently. It's quite the fight. Apparently, it's just spit in my eye, which is kind of rude, if you ask me. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. Let's actually use our knowledge here. I shouldn't touch the beast at all. Okay, so if I use my knowledge, it's like, yeah, don't grab the spider. Do not grab the spider. Okay, drop weapon and clean my eyes. Swing the blade left and right without pause. Wait for the spider to approach and then dash at it. Okay, so we have like ooze in our eyes. It's like blinding us slightly. We can clean our eyes, or we just swing wildly. What do we do? What to do? I don't want to drop the weapon. I feel like that's a bad idea. Because it will take that opportunity, I imagine. Let's just wait for it to approach and then dash at it. The charging spider can't escape your confident swipe. The sack of flesh smacks the floor and clicks in agony. You hear only your own heart and the chirping of the insects outside. You're getting sweaty. Your eyelids can't even blink. You drop the axe on the floor and then sit on the threshold blindly. Do I have to... Okay. Harshly pulling out the ooze or remove it gently? Wish I had knowledge about this. That would be nice. Just remove it gently. The saliva clings tightly to your skin, but stretching it with your fingers helps. The eyelids are the worst part, but you're grateful for your reflexes. At least you still have your eyes. You get to see the light slowly, then the shapes. The thing turns out to be grey and white. You stand up and look around. The room is covered with a thick layer of dust. Getting through the web could be risky. A single thread won't stop you, but a bunch of them could grapple you for good. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? I'll gather the web up. I actually wanted spiders though. What was that noise? You bring a twig from the outside and use it as a spool. You don't have much practice and wearing the gloves makes the necessary gestures even more awkward. From time to time the silk breaks, but it shouldn't be a problem for a tailor. It's a material for stitching and wouldn't be turned into a cloth anyway. You notice maybe a dozen defenseless spiderlings. They flee towards the exit with their speed limited by their tiny legs. They're smaller than a finger. Do I trample the spiders or do I let them live? Do we have no mercy for the spiders? I mean, if they become the big spider, maybe better to just stomp on them. I don't want the giant spiders in my house. That would be terrible. Have I been liking Roadwarden? It's been good. It's been good. I enjoy the slow storytelling of it. It's nice. I play it every now and then. We are very filthy all the time. It's apparently really difficult to stay clean in this game. Yeah, just stomp. Let's search the building. 2 quarrels. The chest hides a few old water skins and inedible stale rations. Among them, however, you find 2 quarrels for a crossbow. The bones have no obvious owner, but judging by their age and the lack of skull or human-like hands, you doubt they could be awoken by the fogs. The boots, rugged pants, an old sticky tunic, and other scraps are cheap and hide no jewelry. The bowls and mugs are empty. Drag the spider carcass away and throw it into the forest. Okay. That's it. Great. Dealt with the spider. Pretty good. The gentle road leads uphill, getting more rocky and bright as the trees grow sparse. Just in case, your eyes run towards a few drier parts of the meadow, and you instantly shout at Age to make haste. Yeah, hurry it up, Age. Come on. A pack of short-haired wolves, at least 20 members strong, is chasing after you. Their coats are a mixture of yellow, black, and white spots, as if someone threw mud and paint at them. They move towards the road with a human-like speed, and you realize only some of them run straight at you. A human-like speed? I don't know, that doesn't sound very terrifying. I would think that wolves run faster than humans, just not as consistently. Right? They're trying to cut through my path. If it wasn't for your palfrey, the beast would have already caught up with you. Their trap was perfectly set up, not leaving you any path of escape. Your terrified mount is disciplined enough to stay on the beaten path, and even though one of the big-eared wolves almost sinks its teeth into your mount's thigh, you manage to squeeze between the hunters. For the next few minutes, you do your best to get further away, and while your gallop is indeed faster, the wolves easily shorten the distance by moving through the sparse forest. You cross the weird river bridge made of a stone slab, but the chase doesn't stop yet. A human on speed, there you go. True, that would be more terrifying. You're a pro horse, yes. You are a very good horse, Sage. You dodge the wolves and everything. You think about your sacks and bundles, but the pack won't wait for you to sort through your things. The group gets larger the further you go, and even more of its members, previously hidden among the rocks and grasses, now join the hunt, allowing their tired family members to slow down. You may be able to lose them after some time, but scaring or wounding them, some of them may force them to give up on their prey sooner. Yeah, I have nothing. I have nothing. Welcome back, Lumen. Yeah, I don't have a crossbow. I have crossbow quarrels, but yeah, that's not gonna work. You focus on the road ahead, forcing your mount to speed up whenever a beast tries to catch it. Oh, I traveled to the 4 major crossroads that connect the peninsula. Nice. You're hungrier than they are, so you should eat them instead. Well, actually, I'm full. I'm fully nourished. Food is the one thing I'm not struggling with. Everything else is pretty bad, but... After another few minutes, you reach the crossroads at the foot of a watchtower, but the pack doesn't give up on you yet. At least their numbers have stopped growing. You're already outside of their territory, and a handful of spotted, colorful shells also seem tired, and are forced to stay on the beaten path. The gale cutting the road right next to the tower can't be crossed in the saddle. You have to make a turn. Riding east. The road is in great condition. The forest in the south is lush, despite the steep rock face that divides it in half. You barely recognize any shapes in the entanglement of greys, browns, and greens, but after another few minutes, the howls stop. Don't slow down just yet. Those were some stubborn wolves. The northern landscape is just a meadow, which then morphs into barren hills and mountains, barely covered by the grasses and bushes. No horse could travel through the barrier. Such a barrier, rather. Maybe the riding ebexes of the clanspeople from the growing mountains would manage. Age is exhausted, but patient, more happy to survive than it is angry at your wanderlust. At least you can hope the pack will move to a different place during the night. Better get out of the saddle. Very nice. The road leads you downhill to the edge of a lake. The clearing around the dwelling is quiet, with no crickets, flies, or even toads. The grass is not even knee-high. There are no signs of a wharf or boats. The wall wasn't coated and has already been bitten by winds and rains. Right next to the gate, a gargoyle, or stone look-alike, kneels on a slab. It's dark purple, almost black, with yellow pointy teeth. Though its half-open mouth has no tongue, and the creature doesn't move an inch, the eyes have been replaced by crystals, red like currant juice. Touch the gargoyle. Your hand seems tiny when placed on the monster's shoulder, which is coarse and cold like rock. You consider pushing one of the teeth, but the eyes of the gargoyle suddenly glow brighter. What do you want? I'm not expecting anyone. The words are coming from the monster's mouth, though it remains still. Stand in front of me. I want to see your mug. The drawling voice belongs to a woman. It is lined with unnatural creaking. The eyes don't rotate nor blink. Who are ya? Be a threat? No. blood. Let's just be friendly. I'm Marley, the new Roadwarden. I hope you're having a great day. During the long pause, the glow of the gargoyle's eyes subside. Once they light up again, the voice isn't much softer. Oh, good to see you, new warden. Here come to pick up some stuff. You're a many days too early. Or do you even know who I am? I don't, I'm afraid. I'm just getting to know the realm. So you lost your way and now you're wasting my time. Long pause. I'm Eudocia, the only enchantress you'll find in this land, and you're disturbing my work. I don't see people in the middle of the day. Return in the early morning or a few hours before dusk if you have to. Yes, yeah, don't bother me at all. The monster's eyes darken again. Your mount is ready to ride away. I guess we can, so return early morning or a few hours before dusk. We can travel a bit and then come back there. That should be okay. A round pine tree blocks the road. For a wayfarer walking over the thin branches at the top is not much of an issue. Even age led on a rope could walk around the stump, but a large wagon couldn't move onward in one piece. At least not without detaching the mules, unpacking all the wares and moving everything by hand. Cutting a tree into pieces would take hours even with proper tools, and you can't hope to move it with just the muscles that you and your mount have to offer. Look around. Surrounding area. You walk deeper into the wilderness, searching through the shrubs and trees. You don't find any side paths, nor remains of a camp or a hamlet. The first game trail you find has been used exclusively by animals. Tree. The leaves are not completely dry, and when you break one of the twigs it still contains water. There are no signs of sickness that you can recognize, and the termites and other bugs are still sparse. Beneath the trunk there's no blood, no abandoned limbs. Stump? You don't find any marks of maw or paws. The top is hip high and unnaturally smooth. You could comfortably sit down on it. Tracks? In the trampled grass you find two sets of tracks to follow. There are no hoof prints. The first set is near the destroyed wagon. The wayfarers suddenly stopped. You can see where they made a sharp turn. The second trail is close to this tree stump. Most of the marks were left by flat, cheap boots, not suitable for long walks, but someone was wearing hard, wide heels, distorting the ground. Both trails avoid the eastern wilderness. They stick to the main road and lead you north. They could have belonged to 24 people, maybe more. You follow them for a bit, but lose them once there's no more mud and tree needles to find. Okay, so I'm assuming that someone cut the tree in front of the wagon, so they had to stop and ambush them or something like that. The planks are still firm and there's no mustiness in the air, but the vehicle needs just a push to fall to pieces. Like a child's toy with nothing to keep the parts together. There are ways to construct a wagon with just wood, leather and fiber, but you find the marks of hinges, braces, nails and clamps, which are now all gone. The wheels are missing their steel rims. You find only one linen bag, empty and moist. You can't estimate how deep the tracks are. The ground was hard, so the cart's weight wasn't a significant factor. So they took all the metal, basically. Everything that was holding it together, they took it all. It would only take 2 steps to disappear into the deep water. The rocky bank smells fresh and is filled with the sounds of frogs, insects and birds. It's not a good spot to quench your thirst. The beds of long kelp pulled by the flow of the river are crowded with fish and 4-legged creatures that you don't even recognize. You keep an eye on the land. There's no carcass in sight and no signs of shells that would be left nearby. There are no berries left, only broken twigs, fallen leaves and trampled grass. You notice a pointy arrow made by a human hand with a head made of horn and black-orange fletching. These feathers originally belonged to one of the local pheasants. You see no arrow marks around, not even on the wagon. Huh. The western hill. The rocky wall isn't much of a challenge. The top of the hill is covered with short grass and sparse trees. You notice a couple of bushes with a good view of the road, just next to the remains of a campfire. Charred pieces of wood, ash, bird bones, trampled grass, and a broken earthenware bottle. You follow the deepest tracks, leading to the edge of the soft earth. Someone jumped down, or at least stopped, stepping on the grass. The road here is already being overgrown, fading away, but it's in no worse shape than the other parts of the southeastern route. No alternate path has formed around the blockade. Okay, I think I know what happened. It was cut down to set up an ambush. Why was the wagon abandoned? It was attacked by highwaymen. What was originally transported? That I'm not sure. Don't think it's... Passengers, food supply... I'm not sure. It's impossible to tell, I would say. What happened to the owner? They were taken north? You think that the tree was cut down to set up an ambush. The cart which transported unknown contents was attacked by highwaymen and its owners were taken north. I think that makes sense, right? I don't know what else it could be. Help me. What do you need help with, Zelda? You're melting, no. It's too warm, I know. Yeah, let's say I'm sure. Well, you can't be sure of what really happened. You don't think there's much left for you to find. Let's hope you haven't missed anything. Okay. Consider washing myself. There we go. Oh my god, we've made the entire circle. We did it. Now, I don't know where to go though. So this is, how long do we have? We have 6 hours, 15 minutes. And this is 3 hours, 30. So I need to be back here at morning or like near dusk. Yes, Age is a horse. Age is our horse in this game. I thought he was a dog. No, it's a horse. I don't think I could ride a dog around in the game. Let's go this way. Okay. You follow the road spread between the hills and lonely trees until you reach a solid wooden bridge, not older than a generation. You ride uphill, but agiography manages to keep up. The dark woods in the south are behind a gently humming creek. While the forest on your right was trimmed by the locals, it's a peaceful journey. At least for some time. After a few minutes, you spot a group of wolves feasting on a fallen, furry beast, maybe a wisent. One of them looks towards you. Ride a bit faster. Just a little bit faster, you know? The road fades into an old tunnel. There are no signs of mining, no signposts, no human voices. The ceiling is supported by wooden beams, but the light only reaches so far. The chilling wind mercilessly bends the few lonely trees, while the shrubs oppose the weather patiently. The side path leading west is somewhat maintained, and you find both boot prints and car tracks. It leads higher into the mountains. Okay, enter the tunnel. Your mount observes the area anxiously, so you stay for a moment to give it a good scratch under its neck and say some confidence-sounding rubbish. Nice. You unpack all the things you need to make a new simple torch, a log, some old rugs, and a bit of oil. You grab the tinderbox and sit it on the ground. Wait, why a torch? I have a lantern. Why do I make a torch? I have a lantern. What? Is my character dumb? You have a lantern. There's a torch inside the lantern? I mean... yes, technically, I guess. You can call it that. Let's see where the tunnel leads. Here, now it says my lantern should last long enough. For a few minutes you follow a fairly straight corridor. The timber supporting the ceiling is decayed, but you don't spot any signs of collapse. The floor is littered with bones and rotting food, most likely dragged in here by wild beasts. But there are also signs of soot above you, and boot prints left on the dried mud. You reach the crossroads and stop in place. There's no sconce in sight, so you'd have to constantly carry the torch, or lose it for good. And it won't last for long anyway. The draft is hardly noticeable, so looking for an exit in the dark could be dangerous. So, this is where the lantern comes in. I actually bought it hoping something like this would happen where we need it. And there we go. You place the candle on the ground, then light it up with another few sparks from your tinderbox. You shove it inside the lantern through the hole in its top, pressing it onto a nail. You shake it for a bit, making sure it will stay standing. The candle isn't as bright as your torch, but it's safer, will last longer, and can easily be replaced by another one. Go deeper. The road ahead is like the one you just crossed, a human-carved straight corridor supported with beams, while the other paths are curved and narrow. The only light comes from the exit, minutes away from here. Look around. The remains of prey and food are rotting, but get sparser the deeper you enter the tunnel. The moist walls are shining as if they're made of an ore unknown to the human tribes. You observe the dried trails, the ones left by boots, lead towards both corridors. The path to your right also has marks left by hooves and wheels. Some of the fresher trails leading deeper into the tunnel resemble human souls, but deformed, lacking skin between the toes. Weird? What do you mean lacking skin between their toes? Like webbing? Or what, like, how did I mean that? Because normally you don't have skin between your toes, right? Am I wrong? I'm confused by this statement. Like you have skin just around your toes, because, well, you should have skin on most of you. But between them, I don't have skin, I don't think. Unless they... But how would you also see that in the trail? Even if there was some skin missing somehow or whatever, how would you see that in the trail? Like, footprints don't... Whatever, that's fine. Maybe I'm looking too far into this. Let's go right. where the hooves and wheels went. The court is unlike the others, taller and more rounded, with claw marks on the walls. It leads you to a chamber with the ceiling supported by a single beam. There's also an abandoned cart, the fence of an animal pen, and a few long sticks and planks. You take a glance at the new exit. It leads slightly upward and looks a bit like stairs. Okay. Search the room. You find no caches or boxes and the cart is empty. The one thing that draws your attention are the planks and logs themselves. They're in decent shape, flexible, though too moist to be worth carrying out of the cave. They could be turned into a new door or maybe a table. Climb up the stairs. You flinch after the light touches the resting bone, but nothing tries to jump at you, and you hear no shuffling feet. You step forward and take a closer look at the remains of the massive creature. It used to be 2 times as long as your palfrey, 3 if you were to count the hind limbs. It resembles a bear, but its skull has no sharp teeth and is of a different shape. Take a closer look. The ribs of the creature are as long as your own trunk, though the age makes them brittle. You observe the long legs, horse-like head, and the massive stomach. You can't tell if you've ever seen such a beast alive, but surely not its trophies. A part that's uniquely sharp are the creature's claws. They could pierce 2 sides of your skull at once, as curved as a war pick and as heavy as a mace. An axe, rather. And the marks on the walls perfectly match them. While impressive, they're too old and awkward to be turned into tools. Oh. Leave the chamber. Let's turn left. Thank you for the hydrate, Zelda. The air in the chamber is humid. The straw beds are covered with mold, the sagging racks are bending under their own weight, and the animal pelts on the floor release a terrible stench. Search the room carefully. Using an old walking stick, you push the furs and mattresses aside, and you spare your gloves from touching the sticky odds and ends by wrapping them with a cloth. You find only one thing of value, hidden in a rare, dry bowl pushed to the side of a shelf. A tiny ring made of bone, not a coin, but a piece of jewelry. Still elegant, with a distinguished carving of a fish on its top and scales on its side. Oh god, it's getting late. Go back to age, I think. Oh god. Okay, the creatures of the night. Okay, I can't get there before nightfall. Shit. Okay. I made a mistake. Well, we'll just stay here. This is fine. You forge ahead for another few long minutes, no longer able to see the light from the exit. You need to stand on someone else's shoulders to touch the ceiling. So far, you could ride through the tunnel without getting out of the saddle. The sounds of a stream is reaching you from ahead. This time, there are no side paths. Move forward. The stream has formed a wide pond. You stab it in a few spots, but it turns out to be only a finger or 2 deep. There's no sign of a bridge. Take a closer look. It's clean, but the dark rocks and the lack of light camouflage its soft sand-like bed. You find a few fish bones and other remains, but with every step you disturb the sediment, further clouding the water. The water flows from your right to the left. Its trail is wide enough to follow, at least for a few steps, and so tall you can do so without crouching. Follow the water. The corridors become less spacious after just a few steps, but you manage to take a good look around, moving both with and against the flow. The wet walls are home to worms, mold, and what looks like pale spiders, though with only 6 legs. Among the commotion you spot a cave ear sticking out of a wall, a familiar though unfriendly mushroom, the creamy color distorted by the light. You grab your knife and cut away what seems like the least bug-infested chunk, and after wrapping it with a linen sheet you wash your hands. The cave area is used by some fighters to enhance their senses in combat. Combined with a snakebait flower, it could be a helpful addition to your collection of potions. Move forward. This is fine. 15 minutes before dusk. The open door to your right leads to a narrow corridor. You take a look further down the tunnel. A cave-in broke the timber, blocking the path forward. Take a closer look at the cave-in. You push away a few rocks, making them roll on the floor, but the blockade is at least a few steps deep. It would take an entire team of diggers to get through, if it's possible at all. You climb up a bit and peek through the larger hole. Close to the ceiling, there's a weak light coming from the distant end of the tunnel. Step away. Walk through the door. It squeaks. The corridor resembles the interiors of a fortress, with flat, regular walls and the ceiling so low you couldn't ride through it. You reach another, much larger chamber, which seems to mimic the corridor style. Hi Pip, welcome back. The spoiled food and moldy planks make you hold your breath. The chamber is used to serve as a dining spot, with tables, chairs, shelves for mugs, and barrels of drinks. But all that's left are worms and mustiness. You don't see the furthest wall until you bring the light closer. The open door leads to a new natural cavern. Another closed door is in the corner of the room, opposite the one you came from. Search the chamber. Oh, a key. Yeah, everything's okay. I'm doing good. The place was abandoned in haste, but you find no signs of large creatures, bones, or destruction. The wood gives way only to time. A few of the barrels still contain liquids, so you wouldn't dare open them. Close to the exit leading to a cave, you find a hook with a simple iron key. You pick it up and it stains your hands with rust. The only problem is it's now nighttime. And Age is still outside. I don't know how dangerous it is outside. I'm sure it's fine though. The door gives way. The next room is also too large for your light to reach all the corners at once. The empty shelves, chests, and spear racks give you no promise of a hidden treasure, but you also find a box with rusty nails, a cracked barrel in the corner, and a broken blade. You could spend some time collecting these and other iron scraps and sell them to a village. In the room's corner, you notice a white sheet of moldy fabric that covers a large part of the wall. Collect the metal scraps, why not? Having no useful tools at hand, you struggle to dismantle the barrel and cut away all the bits of wood that are attached to the pieces of iron and steel. After a long while, you prepare a decent clanging sack. For now, you move it to the dining chamber and leave it by the exit. Examine the curtain. It's divided in the center, allowing you to draw it. Behind it, you find a tiny room, maybe 2 steps wide and 3 steps deep. It's silent, not as humid. The wall ahead isn't like the others. It's covered with red and purple bricks. Look for anything unusual. You found out about a game called Sea of Stars. Yeah, it's on my wish list. It's actually on Game Pass as well, I think. So I've been planning to play it at some point. It looks really good. It's a prequel to The Messenger? Wait, really? I didn't think those two were related. Sea of Stars. They said that in the announcement? Huh. Is it the same studio? Oh yeah, it is. It is. Okay. I didn't know that was the same studio. That is cool. It's interesting because it's quite a different style game. And wasn't the messenger about some neon colored ninja? Well, it was about a ninja. I don't know about neon colored. You might be mixing it up with a different game. But it is definitely a ninja. So you're thinking in the right direction, but maybe not entirely the right game. I don't know. The messenger is very strange, but really cool. Because there's like time travel involved and timey-wimey stuff. You love the merchant? Same. The walls to your left and right bear a few iron hooks that could be used to hang cloaks, paintings, or trophies. The corners aren't too dusty and there are no footprints on the floor. Inspect the brick wall further. In its center, at chest height, you've spotted distinctive engraving. It's a winged hourglass, about a finger long. I like any tools and I like a winged hourglass. Well, okay. Right game, but you have the art style confused. Yeah, that's fair. I thought so. And yeah, it does have two art styles. That's also true. Because it changes like at some point. Ooh. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. What do I do? Do I... Oh no. What do I do now? Apparently, going to seek shelter at Foggy Lake will kill me. It's too dangerous. It says it's too dangerous to stay here. But there's still time to travel to a safer spot. But it's minus all. Minus everything. I think I'm dead. Can I not just sleep in the tunnel or something? There's an animal pen in the tunnel and everything. Isn't this a good shelter? I would think it is. I think I could stay here. But apparently the game doesn't think so. Does it just kill me if I do this? Oh no, okay. It just puts you on 0. Which is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, so we just sleep. I guess it can't kill you this way. I guess you have to die in battle for it to actually kill you. Got rejected from Valhalla? Not really. You're here trying to chill and watch the stream. People drag me in the middle of their personal arguments and you're there just quiet eating, looking as lost as a cork lying on your backpack. Oh no. Oh. I hate it when people try to like get you into their argument and it's like, come on, let me just do my own thing. I don't need to deal with your bullshit. If you want to have an argument, fine, but don't pull me into it if I don't have like a reason to be in it. You lose your senses right after you lie down. In the middle of the warm, stuffy night, you are entangled by your dreams. Too tired to fully wake up, too accustomed to having a mid-sleep break, to just get back to sleep. You are between the realms, surrounded by visions so vivid you are tempted to reach out, touch them, stretch them out. They are your playground. You think of Katana Zero. Ah, yeah. That's a good one. It's a good one too. Their excuse is you're more logical and calm, your input is helpful. I mean, I guess they're not wrong, but... yeah, inputs let me be quiet and eat. Yeah. Once I realize I'm in power, I do my best to enjoy myself. I fly, defeat dragons, eat and drink whatever I want. I wouldn't dare to disturb the natural flow of dreams. I accept them as they are, hoping to spot any visions they bring. No matter how much I try, my nightmares interfere with even the most joyful dreams. I wake up sweating, gasping for air, or I try to break free from this state, thinking of all the things I was meant to do tonight. When I wake up, I'm still not sure if I did anything at all. Oh my god. These are too real. This is why you have a room? Yes. A separate room where no one bothers you. Lock the door so they can't come in. That's the life. Pisty! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everyone. How was your stream? We're just chatting. Nice, nice. I hope it went well. Hi Zaf, Idonican, Merlin, Azumoro, Abyssal Omelette, Darius. Welcome, welcome everyone. We're playing some Roadwarden. I was not going to stream for too much longer, since it's quite warm. But I will probably keep going for a little bit longer. Hope you had a wonderful stream though, and I hope everyone is doing well and staying hydrated, you know, keeping away from the heat. Keeping cool. Oh, have a good lurk, Zelda. Enjoy your lurk. Let's see. I want to not disturb the natural flow of dreams. Let them just come. That's fine. Okay. Well, we're on the verge of death, but that's fine. That's fine. It happens. Let's see if we can travel. I mean, I guess we can travel through the old tunnel again. Age is a horse, yes. Yeah, hi Visti. I hope you had a good stream. I hope it was wonderful. Let me... do I go this way? Past the old tunnel? Merlin! Thank you so much for giving us sub to Visti. Katana Zero also has timey-wimey stuff, and it's a katana wielder, not a ninja. Your confusion is understandable. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it is very understandable. But yeah, so today was a bit weird for me because, you know, I had a bit of a problem yesterday. I'm glad I'm feeling fine. But the fact that I'm streaming it all today is honestly quite something. I didn't think I would recover as quickly as I did, but I have, so we're good. Let me go north. Yeah, I'm glad I'm feeling well too. I don't suggest anyone pass out. It's a terrible experience. Do not recommend. The detour is not as smooth as the main road. A wagon could make it through, but even so, you have to squeeze between some narrow corridors, hoping no beast is going to jump at you from a ledge. You walk, leading your mount with an axe in your hand. In the middle of the road, after reaching one of the higher hills, you take a glance ahead. Even from here, you see the sun reflecting from the ocean, but there's also a pillar of smoke coming from the distant west. There may be a volcano somewhere behind the horizon, but you can't tell if it's part of the peninsula, or maybe a yet stranger land. Once you get to the other side of the mountain, you find a northern entrance to the tunnel, blocked by a large bronze gate. So tall and wide you're not sure if it's something you could open with your muscles alone. There's a keyhole as well, as large as your hand. Unlocking the tunnel would save me a lot of time. Wait, I have a key. Can I unlock it? Oh, I guess not. Modality streams until collapse. Dedication 20 out of 10. I don't... That wasn't exactly what happened. But sure. You want to call it dedication, then that's okay. I did stop streaming right after collapsing. I don't know if I was that dedicated. You get a good look at the village from a distant hill. It's torn between taming the crags and succumbing to their whims. The grey boulders are like rotting teeth of a giant, sprinkled around by an ancient spirit. The carved cave mouths are covered with wooden doors. There are only a few windows, and you can only imagine how dark and cold the gouged out rooms have to be. The buildings and walls, made of logs or stone blocks, must be much younger than the caves. The impressive whitewashed keep, standing on the top of the hill in the west, could just as well have been built in the city. Smoke rises from both sides of the wild river. You see many busy souls as they go about moving tools, food and timber over the bridge. Your arrival at the eastern gate caused some curious glances, but the only person who approaches you is a man who was sitting at a table discussing something with a few elders. He's carrying a crossbow on his back and a long rusty knife at his side, but doesn't reach for them. Dismount. The only thing bigger than your dedication is your heart. Oh. The man has to be older than 40. He wears an elegant blue-green linen tunic with no armor. His skin is yellowish, like seaweed seen through a sunbeam. His long grey hair is tied in a ponytail and his beard is trimmed to half a finger length. A few large cysts make him look sickly, but his powerful, truculent voice adds to him strength and confidence. Cheers, stranger. You've reached Gill Rocks, you did? He observes your mount, then looks at the path behind you. I see no caravan from here. Are they coming? You suddenly meet your eyes, and his tone gets even harsher. Or are you here to idle about? I listen to the nearby conversations. You have to get used to some of the local words and phrases that you've only heard coming from the mouth of the oldest of city folk. The vast similarities to the tongue of Hovleven only make these differences more distracting, like a gloss pulled into the core page of a codex. I have enough problems of my own for now to seek new ones. Oh my god. I mean, it's not wrong. I'm on the verge of death. I'm sweaty and dirty. We're running out of food. And our armor is disheveled and terrible. I have a lot of problems. He takes a step closer and examines your appearance, then shrugs. Right, you do look like a soul who's seen a lot. But who are you with, if not with the caravan? I don't have to let you in, neither here. He points behind him. No, there. He nods towards the western gate. At least he's like, yeah, you look like shit. You're right. You do look very much like you're on the verge of death. Another Roadwarden? Are all of them parents in the south too dumb to teach their kids how to keep their fingers in their own pots? He shakes his head with exaggerated motions and looks at the elders at the table. A Roadwarden, see that? Trying to cut the conversation short, you tell Age to follow you inside, but you're stopped right away. Leave it by the walls until it's nightfall, right? We mean cleaning our roads after any drifters, bards, or adventurers. He speaks with growing disgust. Don't worry, we'll keep an eye on it. You tether your horse to the stems of a shrub, and the man nods with approval, then turns around. Can you tell me something about the village? He stops in place, then glances at your boots. Right, we fish, we salt fish, we sell fish. Our brave ones trade barrels for whatever we can get at the other villages, but not much else to it, see? Life here is slow. Without another word, he returns to the group of elders, where he helps one of them remove bones from their meal. Maybe there are some locals looking for a match. As the vast majority of the locals see this place, while the vast majority of the locals see this place as their home, oh my god, this is long, and even feel indebted to their families and neighbors for looking after them, Paulus seeks a different path. He isn't even 20, but trained to work on the beach. He's strong, slim, and a bit loud. I can even hunt fish if that's the only work left, he admits when asked about his plans for the future. There's not here, not after all them neighbors turned a blind eye toward my harpy of a mother. He reveals the scars on his back, left by willow withies. God. You mention religion, and he shrugs without a second thought. I can do whatever, barring wicked spells. You make sure he means necromancy and blood magic. Right, all I want is a companion for the mornings and evenings, a woman with a kind soul, and if good winds allow us, to be the mother of our children. I'm ready to work for them until I faint. He flexes his muscles. I'd gauge my arm for that. Marina is a few years older, but much shorter, pale, and with dark circles on her eyes. While she hopes to find a wife or husband, she won't leave the village. I have a 6-year-old. His father went into the fogs on a foraging trip. I'd love to have more kids, but my forebears have been living in this village for longer than anyone could tell, and I'd rather not make our blood too thick. You ask about what sort of trait she's looking for. God. Okay. Oh wait, this is someone else, right? I see. This was Paulus, and this is... I was just giving them the same voice, apparently. But that's not... Someone kind, loyal, serious, and diligent. No matter if they're a water carrier or an artisan, my own back is weak. It is. Suffers after standing for long hours. I help with fish, smoking, cleaning, foraging, whatever there is to do. When asked about her convictions, she looks at you as if the question is beyond absurd. I won't lie with the lad or lass that's a stranger to Wright's teachings. Yeah, I'll talk to Paulus about Timo. He asks you a few additional questions, some of which are centered around Timo's face and figure and spoken with embarrassment. Okay, great. Then flashes you a wide smile. Right, she sounds dreamy. If she's in, I'm in. Let me know what she thinks about me. Nice. Oh, we're a matchmaker. Let's go to the gatekeeper. In most settlements, people are much more hospitable. He gives you an irritated glance, then stares into the river. Most settlements have fewer memories of getting robbed by drifters or of wasting their time on good-for-nothing adventurers. All them free souls think they have the right to our patience and care, as if they're some saviors of ours, each one of them. Well, we've been beating this land for centuries, with the right's help and the patience of our forebears, and if anyone wants our respect, they'd better work for it. When you notice that getting away with theft must not be an easy task, he answers slowly. Don't get any weird ideas, outsider. It's easy to disappear in the hills or at the crossroads. We've got to be vigilant, more than our allies. The stonecutters at Old Pagos, they can let themselves be more open to strangers. They have neighbors, gentler roads, and less of a wall to defend. Have you been bothered by bandits in recent seasons? What do you mean bandits? That useless group of soldiers already faced them a half-year ago. And you heard in Hovlevan? They killed and got killed. He shrugs. As if there's nothing more to add, but you tried to push him harder, sharing some of the gathered rumors. Glacianer group? You're wrong. She's from here. She wouldn't bother us, or our neighbors. She's just one of the lost free folk. Couldn't force herself to come back here after the events. That can't be changed now. She's just hunting for treasures in the ruins, trading. That's where she gets her stuff and coins. Okay. Looking for someone. Salesman. Trader. Okay. And what would you buy without a wagon or donkey? And donkeys? We sell barrels of fish, sacks of salt. When a caravan comes, we empty your warehouse, then fill it up again. When you ask if she's sure that there's nothing useful that a lone traveler could get in such a large village, she seems a bit embarrassed. Well, we have a weaponsmith, but he doesn't sell any blades to outsiders. But maybe Rufina the tailor? Okay. Tailor. Threads, scraps of cloth, old tunics, clothes, blah blah blah, yeah. Behind it there's a mature woman, though you can't precisely guess her age. The flame dancing because of your movements distorts the shadows cast by her wrinkles and large nose. Her bright red tunic is light, made of something lighter than hemp or wool. The sleeves end at her elbows, allowing her hands to sew together two pieces of fabric. She runs her dark yellow eyes over your clothes. Her hair may be getting grey, but the colorful wooden beads among them distract you right away. Cheers, stranger. You need something patched up? After you nod, she looks deeper into the store. Good, as I'm better at fixing tears than making togs. Take a look. Indeed, while there's plenty of shelves and cupboards covered with pants, tunic, jackets, robes, hats, boots, and bags, many of them seem old, or maybe made from 2 or 3 combined pieces of garment. We buy outfits from other villages, explains the tailor, maintaining her bored tone, and as they get worn and damaged, I turn them into something new. Anything for sale? My neighbors walk in and put on whatever they feel like wearing, but I ain't wasting any fabric on outsiders. Maybe you'd like some jewelry? When you mentioned you'd rather take something useful for a traveler, she hesitates. Well, if you really need, I can pack you some old tools of mine. They'd help you fix your armor and togs without anyone's help, though it ain't as easy as you would think. Can I sell you stuff? This bone ring looks like something from here. She moves it to the light, widens her eyes, and speaks with melancholy. I made it myself, I did, as a little lass, for someone who used to be madly in love, but is now taken by the storms. He was better at digging than sailing. She puts the ring on the counter. His wife is still around, though. Leave it with me for 2 coins. It will mean a lot to her. Take it. Nice. Money. Oh, the winged hourglass. I needed that. Will it help me though? How much? What will that get me? I don't know. Like, what if I get it and then I go there and I get nothing in return? I guess I can try. I get money, I lose money. It's the way of things, apparently. Medeli goal, be rich. Also Medeli buy everything. Yes. I need to spend money to make money, right? That's how it works. I think. What was it again? So there was weaponsmith. Tatius, a muscular man who's walking in just his pants, displaying his muscular chest and arms, tanned and hairy, and his dusty, dirty feet. Okay. The man is looking through a few toy weapons gathered in a barrel, a wooden sword, a few spears with their tips wrapped in rags, and similar-looking clubs. After your arrival, the man throws a spear to one of the younger kids, tells the others to get him like mad boars, and soon after that you hear a painful thud and cheerful laughter. He then offers you vivid red cherries, maybe the last ones this season. He may be just over 30 years old, yet his wide shoulders, unusual height, and straight posture make even his kindest words sound like a threat. You need something for me, Roadwarden? I'm looking for better equipment. You came to the wrong village. We don't sell anything we stored in our armory. We need these things for ourselves. What am I to do with dragons? Buy blades? After you insist that you may want to think if there's nothing for an axe user, such as yourself. You know what? Come take a look. Okay. So he has a shield and quarrel as well. Nah. Baker. No? A chef. Food person. Inn? Search for an inn is futile, and the locals are quite proud that they have no place to waste their days with mugs and dice. They explain that if any caravan needs to stay the night, there's always enough space to empty one of the caves. If you need a room to spend the night, you're told, Fulvia may have something. Fulvia. You reach a building with an entrance from the garden side. You step through the door leading into the mouth of the cave and call the person you were told to speak with, Fulvia, the roomkeeper. She comes to you from the half-dark corridor. She fits the description you've heard, slightly round, partially because of the tunic and heavy pants hidden beneath the dark green robe. She looks like an eccentric city priest, what with the massive hourglass made of beautifully polished driftwood she wears and the kerchief covering both her neck and hair. One feature that hasn't been mentioned by the locals are her eyes, grey, asymmetrical, partially closed and unfocused. Once she gets closer, she turns her head, gazing into the rock and pointing her left ear at you. Her steps are confident, and her hands keep touching the walls on both sides. She's old, wrinkled, and pale, but her voice remains strong. Your first instinct is to nod, only then realizing it won't really help much. She repeats, you smell of a horse. Room? Yes. Right. Nice. She simply walks down the corridor, between the few humble chambers, some of which are inhabited by sleeping souls. After just a few steps, the light coming from the entrance helps you no more. You follow the sounds of boots and the smell of rosemary perfume, then suddenly hear a rock hitting something made of metal. The lit candle makes you sigh with relief. What color? After a quiet moment, she tries again. A horse coat. It's grey, right? I'm pretty sure you were grey. I don't remember. She lets out a surprised grunt. So far from the growing mountains. Guess there are some grey hills around here. Was I wrong? I don't know. I don't remember. Did I lie to the woman? How much for this delight? Don't worry, you won't be cold, and we don't let anything mold here. You can work for the village for merely a few hours in the morning, move some weights around, or you can pay me 2 coins. I won't take less, for I need none at all. I'll just throw it to Severina's chest in a few days. Okay. Severina? Our head woman is in the keep. Oh, okay. I see. Don't know either, yeah. Let's just say you were Grey. Okay, well, look at the keep. The bright walls stand out from the other structures in the village, and as far as you can tell, the current layer of whitewash is still fresh. There must be at least 3 floors inside, enough space to contain more than 100 people, though without much between them. There are arrow slits in the walls, and the roof is surrounded by a fence-like barrier, a perfect spot for boulder throwers and archers. The large entrance door is ajar, with a wrinkled man sitting on a pillow placed on the placed on the stairs. He's not wearing a gambeson, but the fine steel sickle sword at his size makes it clear he's not just a regular guard. He stops what he's doing, carving a figurine from a log, and stands up to greet you. Cheers, Roadwarden. Sabrina was told about your arrival. Follow me. He may be old, but he was tall, with the long and thin arms of a sea folk, a neatly groomed beard, and his grey hair in a ponytail. Climb up the stairs. The door is thick and can be barricaded with 2 wooden bars. The hall is filled with benches, some of which are placed on top of others, giving a bit more space for now. There's one path to the next floor, suspiciously covered with planks. The chamber is free of the roaring of the river, the shouts of the workers, the chaos of animals, or the smell of cooked food. The room is well lit both by sunlight and candles, and quite draughty. Though you still smell perfumes and aging wood, you doubt anyone lives here, or even uses this room for dining. God. It's getting a lot... There's a lot of text. I'm not able to keep up, basically. My brain is not working anymore. The Roadwarden is here, says the guard. Okay, take a closer look. So far, she hasn't spared you as much as a glance. She's writing on a large wax tablet with a stylus as large as a dagger, and since she's a bit stooped, you see her only from the chest up. She's wearing a thick, warm dress in the color of a cherry, and an even darker, modest hat that's covering her hair. She could be older than 70, yet her face and hands have been spared from scars harsher than some pockmarks carved from by illnesses. If you were to encounter her in Hovleven, you would expect her to be an official, or maybe a rich scribe. Some of her belongings, however, won't be found at the city's desks. The wax of her tablet isn't dyed. Instead of keeping water in a cup, she has a large, colorful seashell, and the winged hourglass placed on a stone stand is made of dried seaweed. The woman in the corner, her crossbow is pointed at you. The resemblance between her and the elder is simply stunning. It's stunning, rather, I guess. Though she's slim and a bit taller, she wears a dark blue tunic. God. A simple dark blue and black woolen tunic. I can speak. While she's resting on a chair, she looks at you almost without blinking, with hardly any movement, like a cat staring at a rat, trying to judge if you're a defenseless prey or a threat. Greetings. I'm sorry to intrude while you're busy. I won't take much of your time. I'm not interested in your apologies, and don't spend time chatting boring merchants. Her accent is not as thick as that among the younger villages, keeping a shadow of the years when the guild had tighter ties with the peninsula. But since she has no teeth, you have to think for a moment before you recognize some of her words. What do you want? Her face slowly shifts into indifference, and still holding her stylus, she once again bends over the tablet. I spend a lot of time traveling between places. Do you have any work? Show me first that you're worth something. Work with our fishers, find someone seeking a messenger. I don't need a stranger before autumn, when we'll trade for winter grain. Can you tell me about the tunnel south from here? The venerable digger Yuno will tell you more about it than you want to hear. She will. Before the war, it used to be crossed every 10-20 days, enough for us to keep it garrisoned. But with how little use it has now, I'd be mad to ask any of our youth to throw themselves at the beasts that live there. She glances at an open pouch that's lying just nearby with a few dragon bones sticking out of it. And don't ever offer me your services to merely get rid of the Awoken. I need long-term solutions, not violence. And sooner or later another threat will take their place. You may just as well stay occupied, at least no vagabonds will take over. My patience runs short, okay. Fine. Fine. We'll leave. We'll go back to the old tunnel. At least the tunnel appreciates me. Sleeping chamber. Oh no, wait. Is it forward? Examine the tunnel. You spend a few minutes walking back and forth. Here the wooden support is denser, with more beams both on the walls and on the ceiling. The trash, on the other hand, is sparse, and you find nothing of use. Animal trails turn back to the entrance, with the exception of the human-like bony prints. Back to the crossroads. Was it the animal pen? No. Chamber. The stream. Deeper into the tunnel. Dining chamber. Oh, here it is, right? The ajar door? No. Move back to the dining room. Armory? Tiny room. Touch the shape of the hourglass with the pendant I own. There you go. You fit it into the grooves, then press. The brick moves deeper inside, then bounces back, allowing you to draw it out completely. In the secret compartment, you find a key made of bronze. It's as large as your forearm. Big key. Nice. We like a big key, I guess. Search the chamber. You have the rotten planks and explore the cavern carefully. You leave the rotten planks and explore the cavern carefully, making the light dance on the droplets and puddles, but you find nothing of use or value. Try to open the door. The door opens quietly and you return to the main tunnel. You could turn south again and see if there's anything you missed, but after you blink a few times you realize there's a light at the opposite end of the tunnel. Far ahead, it's weak and flickers like a torch. Hide my own light. Move closer to the light. You put away your light and sneak forward. You pay attention to the sounds and movements, but there's no crackling of a campfire, no wandering or chatter. You see a shape of a gate far in the distance. Look for anything unusual. Though you do so in the almost complete darkness, you notice something blocking your boot. You crouch and touch the long cord stretched right above the ground, in a few spots holding pieces of wood and bone that are meant to make a sound if disturbed. You cut it carefully, putting the remains of the trap on the floor. Nice. Try to get close enough to see who's responsible. Slowly but surely you reach the edge of the light, but don't dare to get any closer. The distinctive shadows belong to the unmoving, human-like shadows that have no flesh on their necks and chests, only the bones. You move back. There may be 3 undead there, if not more. You could prepare some surprises in the tunnel to slow them down, or even weaken them, but who knows how easy it would be to outsmart them. I may not have much practice with hunting, but I know a few things about traps. With your vague knowledge of carpentry and a few attempts, you should be able to figure out a few tricks. Deadfalls, whip traps, or footholds. All you need is to pay close attention to your surroundings and to find some wood, tools, and sharp rocks. It shouldn't be too difficult in these corridors. However, not all traps will be equally effective in every spot. I consider putting a trap here. I could tie the monster claws to a branch and construct a whip trap. Oh, I'm too tired to build a trap now. Oh no. Let me just shout. Actually, I'll quick save. I'll shout at them. I come in peace. The creatures don't scream or wail, neither make threatening gestures nor cast angry glances. You hear only the rattle of their bones as they hit against the rocky floor. The empty eye sockets of the naked skulls reveal nothing. The 4 skeletons wear a few rags, and 2 of them still have scraps of flesh on their limbs. Their weapons are unconvincing, simple digging tools and spears tipped with rocks, but you notice the speed and confidence of their movement. The one in the back is holding a wooden lantern, while another one is carrying a fresh torch. But the group doesn't pay much attention to their steps. Run towards the door. Run to the chamber with stalactites. Run to the... Do I just run all the way? I'm ready to face the undead. I die. F. The limited space helps you predict the skeleton's movements and defend your side. With or without flash, your target blocks and dodges, making you fight as you're facing a human, not a bloodthirsty beast. Yeah. So I just get murdered. In front of the tunnel, head to the crossroads, run to the animal pen, run to the skeleton, face the undead. No, okay. Okay. Do I just run away? All the way? I guess I can just run away. Flee. Wait, do I still have my... Yeah, I still have my lantern, okay. Well... that was nice. What happened now? Tired and hungry, you stare in the distance, observing the smoke coming from the village. The slow minutes spent in the saddle make you dizzy. You'd love to close your eyes for a bit. You're caught by surprise when Ajostrophe raises its forelegs, scared by a wildcat crossing the road. You hit the ground, with a boot still stuck in the stirrup, and get dragged for a few steps before your palfrey calms down. Once you get up, you notice a large hole in your pants. The muddy road is soft, but covered you with dirt. Ow. Nay, nay, I say. Age, why? Why must you betray me like this? I hate this peninsula. Gatekeeper. I encountered undead in the tunnel south from here. They almost got my wife, they did. When she tried to check out the locked passage. Stay away from there, but talk to our digger. She's there with her toys. Steps away from the wall and looks at the nearest table where an elderly woman is putting together a humble structure. Digger. The digger called Yuna, already wrinkled, grey-haired, and slightly stooped. Her hands are steady and precise, and her large eyes blink so rarely that you want to rub your own. She spares you a look and leans back, resting against the wall, then crosses her arms and critically observes her toys. Cheers, stranger, I have time. I'd like to learn more about the tunnel. It's older than any human soul it is, but not ancient. Those who dug through the mountain were still around when I was but a small lass. The village saved everything it got from trade for more than a generation to bring the bronze gate from Hovleven here, the pickaxes and all them tools and nails. It has a single long corridor that reaches from one end to the other, and a few chambers on both sides where travelers used to spend the night, if they were desperate enough. Don't try it without a group of guards now. Monsters also love deep caves, and the days are getting colder. How come it's locked in the first place? Depends on who you ask. Let's just say that a great turmoil happened 10 years ago. The settlements grew further apart, traded less. Keeping a garrison of fighters and builders at the tunnel brought little value. We had to put greater trust in our own work, not in the caravans. Once again foraging, cutting trees and farming. With time, more and more beasts gathered around the tunnel, getting used to seeing no pushback. She looks at an old plank that's been resting behind her stool. She compares its thickness with her toys, then reaches for a gouge and a handsaw. It was 3 years back when a few traders of ours went missing. Our searching group found the gate locked from the inside. They tried to check it, but left the place when they saw moving shells, dead and fleshless. We've decided to clean it someday in the future, maybe hire a group of strangers to take the risk upon themselves. But so far none have reached our village. I was told you are the one who looks after local construction works. That's pretty much it, right? Every few springs or summers I gather a crew to build something new, or rather replace an old hovel with something fresh. But most of the days I just make sure that roofs don't fall on our heads, and that the cribbing in the caves isn't too moist. Then the coopers help me, or a bunch of fishers. For centuries there's been merely one digger at a time, and this custom serves as well, it does. Did your crew build that keep on the hill? We started when I was only a teen, still learning from the previous digger. There used to be a humble watchtower there with tents around it. Now we can all stay locked inside thick walls, but also shoot arrows from the wall, roof and windows. You ask her if the keep has ever been used by the locals in combat, and she suddenly grows disheartened. You would be surprised, you would. There are tales of dragons, pirates and bandits, but all of those happened before the war. Those lands were different, though I can't exactly say how. A digger is an unusual name. And what would the usual name be in the city? A builder? After your shrug, Yuna grabs one of her wooden blocks like a dagger. Our forebears used to, dig in rocks, widening the caves, and it was a name with great honor behind it. When I look around, she does so as to prove a point. It reminds me of our long path, from hiding to thriving on the surface. We have enough building materials? Better ask the coopers. They struggle with timber. The good thing about digging in hills is that we always have enough stone. Our rocks are crude, but we don't need to sculpt, just pile them on. That's fair. Okay, well, I don't know what we accomplished today, really. I got a massive key. Got a big key. I completed the circle, that's true. I have this small iron key as well that I don't know what it does. But I will leave it there, I think. We've done a lot, and I'm still, you know, recovering technically, even though I don't feel like I need to recover anymore. But I think it's probably good that I call it. Let me see who is live currently. Oh, my stomach is doing the rumblies. It's probably good that I stop and have some food. I will send you over to Som. He was here earlier and he's playing some Don't Starve, which should be very fun. Let's do that. Somniatus streams, there you go. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here, for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time. I will be back tomorrow with Baldur's Gate, and hopefully not faint that time, this time, or any more times, really, ever. I would preferably avoid that, which maybe everyone should avoid that if possible, you know, stay hydrated and all those things, just in case. The heat can get to you as well, so keep hydrating and get food and all those things, right? Anyway, have a good one. Thanks for all the raids, for the love, the subscriptions, all those things. Just being here is great. And yeah, go say hi to Som, send some love over there. I will see you tomorrow or some other time. Have a good one. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.